A keyboard and mouse on PS5. Now, this either sounds utterly ridiculous to you or kind of makes sense. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to reiterate how this works. All PlayStation 5s, and I think actually all PS4s as well, can recognize a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. Now, you don't need a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. You can actually just use a normal mouse with a dongle or just connected via USB. That will work for both the keyboard and the mouse. And now, while this might seem a bit ridiculous at first, the more you start exploring why this is an option, actually makes more sense. For this video, we're predominantly focusing on playing games with the keyboard and mouse, but that's not the only thing you can do with it. Let me just run through some of the benefits to this, or maybe even having a keyboard connected. So if you have a keyboard connected, you'll have a lot easier of a time like typing out messages to your friends, searching stuff on the PlayStation Store, searching stuff on YouTube, etc, etc. The mouse on the main system doesn't have as much of an impact, but at a bare minimum, a keyboard does make a world of difference. I know trying to type on the keyboard that pops up on the display, I think we've gotten so used to it that we're actually quite good at it. You can also do it via your phone if you connect it via remote play or something like that. It's just more convenient to have the keyboard. And if you sit at a desk setup and you have one of these keyboards where you have the options to have multiple devices connected to your keyboard, so for example, my computer is 1, my iPad is 2, and 3 is actually my PlayStation, and it's always been like that. And I do actually use the keyboard quite frequently when it comes to just using the PlayStation as is, so instead of using it in games. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about exploring this setup in games. Now, before we hop into the one more random title that has keyboard support, let's get out the way the games that this makes a lot of sense in. So let's start with Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now, Jurassic World Evolution 2 is a park simulator builder game, and these games just work better with keyboard and mouse. I am very used to playing them with a controller, and I have gotten used to them doing it that way, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will get used to it. But I can guarantee you, with a keyboard and mouse, you just feel like you have a little bit more control and you do things a little bit more precisely. It is a difficult thing to kind of illustrate, but while I am predominantly quite used to playing Jurassic World on controller, the keyboard and mouse transition was not as difficult as I thought. There is one game though where the keyboard and mouse transition is just felt so much more natural than a controller, and I've been playing a lot of this game recently, and that is Football Manager 2024. Obviously we don't have a Football Manager 2025, but Football Manager 2024 has keyboard and mouse support, and this is just leaps and bounds better. The controls for the controller are just, I don't know, it just feels very icky. The fact that you need to hold buttons down and then use the analog stick to select certain things when you're trying to change players, and with the keyboard and mouse, you can literally just drag and drop players into your squad. The search, obviously, you're going to be doing a little bit of typing if you're looking for players to add to your squads. The search just is better with a keyboard and mouse, and you'll see that throughout the gameplay of playing this game. I just think that for this specific game, and it is that type of game, it is that game that is actually more suited to a PC, and this is a console version of the game, and it's not actually made identically to what the PC version looks like. The PC version, in my opinion, looks better. It looks like you have a better control over it. The console version is a much more simplified version of what you get on PC, and yet the keyboard and mouse makes the world of difference when you're actually trying to engage with this game. So having that keyboard and mouse option is fantastic. Now, one thing I do want to mention just before we hop into the more odd game that I played with keyboard and mouse is the fact that all three of the games that I have tried out have very good ability to just instantly swap between the keyboard and mouse, or keyboard and mouse and controller, I should say. So if you are using the keyboard and mouse and that is not comfortable for this thing that you're doing, you can instantly swap to your controller and it will just pick up and carry on where you left off. So that ease of use and transition between keyboard and mouse and controller happens instantly, and it is fluid. It doesn't even interrupt your gameplay at all. So that has been fantastic on these three games that I have tried recently. Now, the third game that I tried was an oddity, and I'd been playing so much of it, and I'd been seeing the fact that you could use a keyboard and mouse for a very long time. So when I was doing this video, this was a no-brainer. I had to try this, and it was so weird. It doesn't make sense to me. This game obviously has a PC release, so having that ability to play it as you would on a PC kind of just, it didn't blow my mind, but it was kind of confusing. And then actually playing it, now I have to admit, I am a controller player. It didn't matter, even when I had a PC back in the day, one of the first accessories I bought was a controller so that I could play the games more comfortably, in my opinion. That's how I am more comfortable playing games. I do prefer story-driven games, so I don't really play that many FPS games. FPS games, I can completely understand why keyboard and mouse would be better, and that is actually the one genre that I didn't cover in this video because I don't play that many FPS games. Actually, let me be realistic. I don't play any FPS games, so I don't even play like Cyberpunk or something like that, or Skyrim. I haven't played any of those because I don't play games that aren't that are first person. So it is a problem. I do need to get into those games, and I will probably at some point, and I can see how that would suit a keyboard and mouse a little bit better. But from my point of view, like my third person games, the keyboard and mouse was really odd to use for Death Stranding. So Death Stranding was just really odd. Sorry, I don't even think I mentioned which game it was. But Death Stranding, when I played it on keyboard and mouse, it was, I don't want to say it felt less intuitive, but the simple fact of the matter is I am so used to playing that game on controller because I put in about 60 something hours now on the controller. So when I switched to keyboard and mouse, it just felt really odd. So you'll see me picking up and putting down the controller quite frequently when I'm trying to play this game. And it was a learning experience, and I won't say that I hated it as much as I expected it or expected to. So it was quite interesting. Now, if you want a list, I'm going to link a list in the comments or in the description below of games that do support keyboard and mouse. There aren't as many as I thought, but it's a lot of your simulator type games, a lot of your park control games, so your Jurassic World and things like that. Your Football Manager, which I don't actually think is in the list, but Football Manager 24 is a game that does support keyboard and mouse. So don't let the list be your do-all and end-all. Do your research before you want to see which games are available for keyboard and mouse support. However, I'm not going to say that even if this is just the type of games that you want to play, this is the only time you need a keyboard and mouse. I don't think that's true. I think a keyboard and mouse for a PlayStation 5 setup is actually a lot more beneficial than a lot of people might have initially thought, just for the ease of use in terms of predominantly having the keyboard in order to type things out. I don't know about you, but I do a lot of searching on the PlayStation Store in PlayStation Plus, and it is a lot easier when you do that on a keyboard than when you have to use the PlayStation controller to type out your messages. So I hope this video has been helpful, and let me know what keyboard and mouse games you have tried on PlayStation 5, and let me know if you even knew this was something that Sony supported. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I will hopefully have a short at some point to show you how to connect a keyboard and mouse to your system, and then it'll be a lot easier for you guys to do so. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll check you soon.